Hello everyone, this video is about the Bootstrap. What is Bootstrap and why we use this? Bootstrap is basically a very powerful and strong framework which is used for web development. Now, framework means this framework, Bootstrap framework, has built-in HTML files and CSS files and JS files which we need to include in our code as a library, as a framework, and we can use the classes defined in those HTML and CSS files in JS to make our code easier and we can do the programming faster. Another benefit of using Bootstrap is it makes your web page responsive. It is used to make the responsive designs. This is the main benefit of using Bootstrap. So I'll explain both the benefits one by one. First is how it makes our script faster to code and easy to do. I'll give you an example here. Suppose I'm designing a web page and I'm creating a table there using HTML element table which has table row, table data, TD, and all those elements I have defined. After that I have to design my table. Then what will I do? I'll write the CSS properties for that table. This means I'll give the border size, border color, border design. If I have to change the background color of table, I'll write the color. If I have to change the font color of the table in the cells, then I have to write the font name, font size, or whatever style I have to do. This means you have to understand that we are writing the CSS properties one by one, whatever we have to use in our web page. But now what Bootstrap says, you don't have to write those properties like this. You just have to include the library of Bootstrap files in your code, and those files have classes defined there. You have to use those classes in your HTML elements and the formats will get applied to element. So that will make our work easier and better, and it is very neat to design the web page by using Bootstrap. It designs very neatly. Second benefit is it makes the web designs responsive. Responsive web designs means, as you know, nowadays we are using different devices for surfing internet. Suppose you are seeing the website on a mobile or maybe on a tablet, or some other person is looking in laptop or maybe the full screen desktop. So we are using different varieties of devices having different screen size to see the same web design, to see the same web page. Now if we design the web page by using traditional pattern HTML CSS, then we have to take care that whatever design we are doing, that design should be accommodated with every screen size, whether it is mobile, tablet, laptop, or large screen desktop. But the benefit of using Bootstrap is Bootstrap makes responsive web pages. This means you just have to take care of the HTML elements, design the web page, then the screen size will be managed, will be maintained by Bootstrap only. If you have included the Bootstrap library, then it will automatically take care of your screen size and your web page contents will not cut down even you see that website, web page in your small device or large device. Screen size could be anything. So these are the main two benefits of using Bootstrap. First is it makes the scripting easier. We just use the classes in our code and the formatting happens and it's very neat. Second thing is it makes the web pages responsive. Responsive means it can fit in any screen size. Okay. Now the next is I'll show you how to use the Bootstrap. This is the first basic way to use the Bootstrap. Now as I told you, Bootstrap is a library. It has HTML, CSS, JS files which we include in our code and then we use the classes. But how to include those files? You can install those that framework, or you can include the CDN. The best way is, quickest way is to use the CDN. CDN is basically the URL of those files which you include in your scripting language, in your HTML script, and the files will be included. And for that purpose, the network should be available on your machine. Now let's start with the practical. First I'll create a simple web page, then I'll show you how will I use Bootstrap there. Here I am creating a web page. I am using Visual Studio Code editor. You can use any editor of your choice. Now here, how to use Bootstrap. Here I will not design the web page in the traditional manner by using HTML and then put color, border color, all those things. I'll use Bootstrap here, but for using Bootstrap I have to include its library. Now how to include its library, I'll show you here. You get the site Bootstrap CDN. Click here. Here you get the Bootstrap. I'll use here v4. For that you can see it has Bootstrap CSS file and JS file. I'll use them one by one. First is CSS. I'll click here. Click this statement. We use CSS in head tag, so put it here. I just pasted it. Again go to that link. Copy the JS file. This is the file. This is the link for JS file. It is minified version. main.js means spaces are removed. It is written in a compact form. So again I'll expand this drop down, this button, and I'll click on this link so it is copied. Generally we put script in body tag, so I'll paste it here. So next is, when you are using Bootstrap, then it is always advisable to include the jQuery library also. How to do that? Again I'll go to Google. I'll write here jQuery CDN. You can see here, you can click on CDN.js. You get the links here. Here I'll click on the first one, that is minified main.js. You can copy the script tag here. Again go to your editor and paste it in body. In body tag I kept script, and in head tag I kept the CSS files. So this is the basic structure. In this way we just included the Bootstrap framework in our code. Library is included. Now I'll show you how can we use that. First I'll use its first element, first class, one class, that is Jumbotron. How to use that, I'll show you. Now here if I'll write, let the title be, which will come in the title bar of my web page. I'm writing using Bootstrap. Then I'll write the content here. Suppose I'm writing like this, and I have to write the heading for main web page for my design for my web page. Suppose this is my company name, or this is about the tourism, whatever your company is providing, services providing, that you have to write. So how can we write here? Suppose I am writing here in div, I want to write the paragraph where I'll write, or we can let it be, let me change this heading. Heading will be ABC Tours and Travels. This is my company name. Now when I'll save this file and run this file from this option, you can see here we are getting the heading like this. You are getting the title using Bootstrap and ABC Tours and Travels. Now here you do not have any format, anything in your text. How can we format it easily? By using Bootstrap. That I'll show you. For that, what you have to do here, when you include this library, CSS, HTML files, it has some classes in this file defined. We'll use those classes in our code. We don't have to write complete CSS. One example is, in this div, if I'll write the class equal, class name is Jumbotron. It could be in any case convention. Now see what will happen. Again I'll save this and run. The div will be highlighted. Now you can see. So this is the use of Jumbotron. Jumbotron means you want to highlight the major part of your web page so that it will be easily identifiable. You can customize it definitely, but this is the default layout of using Jumbotron. For the text also, you can see it is left aligned. Earlier in CSS we were using properties if we have to make it center aligned. The text center, align center. But in Bootstrap we have to use classes. I'll show you here. Here I'll write h1 class equal, writing the class name as text center. Now by the name you can understand it will make this text center aligned. When you will run this, it will appear like this. So are you getting its usage? Using Bootstrap we don't have to write the color and each and every code manually. We just have to use the classes in our code which are in Bootstrap files, and we write those class names in our HTML files and we are able to format it. So this is the way we can use that. We can use Bootstrap to format so many things, like we have very customized buttons, forms, tables, drop downs, navigations. All these things can be formatted, can be made by using Bootstrap. This is a very simple example, very first example, where we are just including Bootstrap files and using the classes in our code. I hope you are able to understand this basic code and how to use Bootstrap and what is the purpose of using Bootstrap. Now the next thing is, as I told you, the purpose of using Bootstrap is that it makes our code easier, as well as it it makes our web designs web responsive. Responsive pages are designed. What is the meaning of responsive here? I'll show you. I'll run this page again. In this screen size, in my browser size, the text is coming like this. If this page will be checked through some small device, then how will it appear? Let's see. Let me minimize this window. See. So are you getting? This is the meaning of responsive. Responsive means if your screen size will change, still your content will not get cut down. I know these are very small contents, it has only one element, but the whole web page will not cut down if you will change the screen size. Even if I made like this, still the content is available when I'll scroll down. So this is the meaning of designing responsive web pages. We can use these web pages on any screen size, and we don't have to write any script code, extra script for that, because that is being handled by our Bootstrap files. So this is the basic tutorial for Bootstrap. I hope you must be able to understand it, you like it. So if you like it, please like this video, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.